Let me ask you something personal. Have you ever given a woman your heart, your time, your money, and your loyalty, only to wake up one day and realize none of it was ever enough? You bought her gifts, you planned surprises, you bent over backward to make her happy, but somehow she was still unhappy. And then one day she just changed. She became distant. She stopped texting first. She started acting colder, like the man she once admired had suddenly become invisible. Brother, here's the painful truth no one tells you. Most men fail in love not because they don't give enough, but because they give to the wrong woman. You see, some women don't love you. They love the lifestyle. They love the attention. They love the validation. And the moment you stop feeding their needs, they replace you with someone who can. This is why so many good men are left heartbroken, confused, and angry at the world. But today, I'm going to show you the 5 psychological signs that reveal instantly whether you're dealing with a wise woman or a walking disaster. I'm not here to sugarcoat. I'm not here to play safe. I'm here to open your eyes, because the truth is simple. Choosing the wrong woman can destroy your peace, your purpose, and your entire future. So listen carefully, brother, because what you're about to hear will change the way you see women forever. Stay with me. And by the end of this video, you'll never fall for the wrong one again. Signs 1. Loves money and lifestyle, not you. Let me tell you something, brother. One of the biggest traps men fall into is confusing interest with love. And the painful reality is this. A stupid woman doesn't love you. She loves what you can give her. It starts subtle. She tells you, I like ambitious men. You assume it's because she admires your discipline and work ethic. But slowly, you realize she doesn't value your effort. She only values the results of your effort. She loves the restaurant reservations, the luxury trips, the designer handbags, and the status she gains by standing next to you. But when the spotlight fades, her so-called love fades with it. This is not real affection. This is transactional attachment. And it's dangerous. Signs she loves your lifestyle, not you. 1. She lights up when you spend, but turns cold when you don't. Notice her mood when you don't spend money. Does she suddenly become distant, irritated, or too busy? If her happiness depends on your credit card, she doesn't love you, she loves the lifestyle. 2. She always compares you to other men. Look at Jessica's boyfriend, he bought her a Tesla. Sarah's husband just took her to Paris. When are we going? These aren't harmless comments. They're subtle pressure tactics to manipulate your spending. 3. She's more invested in appearances than connection. For her, a relationship is about Instagram posts, matching outfits, and bragging rights. She isn't looking for love. She's building a brand, the psychology behind it. Women like this chase status validation, not emotional intimacy. They've been conditioned by social media and peer pressure to believe that a man's value equals the size of his wallet. In Los Angeles, London, New York, Sydney, you'll see this pattern everywhere. Girls scrolling TikTok see Dubai vacations, expensive handbags, and soft life lifestyles, and they start believing love marks luxury. But here's the truth. When her self-worth depends on external validation, your worth to her will always be conditional. The Stoic perspective. Epictetus once said, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. A wise woman doesn't measure you by what you buy. She measures you by your character, your consistency, and your values. A stupid woman, however, always needs more. More dinners, more handbags, more lifestyle upgrades. And the irony? The more you give, the less she values you. I once coached a man from Chicago. He worked 70 hours a week, earning 6 figures, and showered his girlfriend with gifts. Tiffany jewelry, luxury vacations, 5-star dinners. She posted everything online. Thousands of likes. People envied their perfect relationship. But one day his company downsized, and his income dropped temporarily. Within 3 months, she left him for another guy with a better lifestyle. She didn't love him. She loved the benefits. How to protect yourself. Test her interest during your lows, not your highs. Pay attention to her gratitude levels. Does she appreciate the little things, or only the expensive ones? Stop using money to buy love, because the moment your wallet closes, her affection disappears. A woman who loves your money and lifestyle will never bring you peace. And without peace, nothing else matters. Signs 2. Chooses attention over loyalty. Now let's talk about the second psychological sign. She craves attention more than she values loyalty. Brother, this one is subtle, but it's deadly. Because here's the truth. An attention-addicted woman can never truly be loyal. Not to you, not to anyone. How it starts. At first, it feels harmless. She loves posting selfies. She enjoys compliments. You think it's no big deal, she's just confident. But over time, you notice patterns. She takes longer to reply when she's out with friends. Her Instagram is filled with provocative photos, but there are no pictures of you anywhere. She spends hours scrolling TikTok, seeking likes from strangers, but barely invests time or focus in you. The psychology of attention addiction. Modern studies on social media behavior show the dopamine spikes from likes, comments, and validation rewire the brain like a drug. Women caught in this loop develop a constant need to be desired, to feel wanted by the crowd. And here's the painful truth. If her happiness depends on how many men notice her, your love alone will never be enough. Signs she chooses attention over loyalty. 1. She lives for Instagram and TikTok. Every outfit, every brunch, every candid photo, it's all curated to look perfect. But if you scroll through her feed, she's chasing validation from strangers, not building a connection with you. Ooh, she flirts casually, then calls it harmless. She says it's just a joke when she texts her male coworker at midnight. But if the roles were reversed, she'd lose her mind. 3. She needs constant reassurance. No matter how much you give, it's never enough. Compliments don't last. Gifts don't last. Your attention expires instantly. The Stoic lesson. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." If a woman constantly seeks external validation, she hasn't mastered her internal peace. And without inner peace, she'll never give you loyalty. I coached a man from London, dating a gorgeous woman with 200K Instagram followers. At first, he thought it was harmless. Everyone likes her pictures, no big deal. But slowly, he realized she needed that attention to feel alive. Even during their dates, she'd check notifications every few minutes. Eventually, he found out she was messaging other men just for compliments. Not because she wanted them, but because she needed their validation. Her loyalty wasn't to him. Her loyalty was to the crowd's approval. How to protect yourself. Choose a woman who values privacy over performance. Watch how she behaves offline versus online. Ask yourself, if Instagram disappeared tomorrow, would she still feel confident? A woman who chooses attention will never choose you completely. And a relationship without loyalty isn't love, it's a ticking time bomb. Signs 3. Plays mind games instead of speaking truth. Brother, let me tell you something powerful. There's nothing more exhausting than dealing with a woman who never says what she really feels but expects you to understand her anyway. This is where most men lose their peace. Because when a woman plays mind games, she forces you into a constant state of guessing, and that's exactly what she wants. She wants control. She wants power. She wants to feel like you're chasing clarity, while she sits back pulling the strings silently. How mind games begin. At first, everything feels normal. She laughs, she flirts, she shares sweet words. But then suddenly her behavior changes. One day she's affectionate. The next day she's cold and distant. When you ask what's wrong, she says, "Nothing, I'm fine." But she's not fine. She wants you to decode her mood. She wants you to work harder, to prove your value to her. And here's the painful truth. Mind games are designed to control your emotions. Common mind games she plays. 1. Hot and cold treatment. 1 week she showers you with affection. Endless texts, compliments, kisses. The next week she goes completely silent, ignoring your messages and acting distant. Why? Because she wants you confused. Confusion makes you chase harder. 2. Silent punishments. Instead of telling you what bothers her, she withdraws completely. She stops responding, stops touching you, and stops showing interest. This forces you into a state of anxiety, where you start apologizing for things you didn't even do wrong. 3. Testing your jealousy. She casually mentions other men's names, exaggerates compliments from coworkers, or posts provocative photos online just to see how you react. This isn't accidental. It's a strategy to measure your emotional investment, the psychology behind her mind games. Psychologists call this intermittent reinforcement, a manipulation tactic where Rewards and punishments are given unpredictably. And guess what? This unpredictability triggers a dopamine addiction in your brain. You start craving her affection. You start obsessing over her mood swings. You start thinking about her all the time. And that's exactly where she wants you. Hooked, uncertain, and emotionally dependent on her reactions. How Stoicism handles this. Marcus Aurelius said, "If someone can control your mind, they can control your life." A Stoic man refuses to play her games. He doesn't chase validation. He doesn't fight for unclear answers. And he doesn't invest energy in decoding mixed signals. Instead, he seeks clarity and directness. If she can't give it, he calmly walks away. Because here's the ultimate truth. Healthy love doesn't require guessing games. Real intimacy grows in honesty, not manipulation. How to protect your peace. Don't react emotionally to her sudden mood swings. Set clear boundaries. If something bothers her, she needs to communicate it. Stop rewarding manipulative behavior with attention. Invest your time only in women who know how to speak their truth. When you master emotional detachment, her games lose all their power. Signs 4. Uses love as a transaction. Now let's talk about one of the most toxic patterns that destroys men emotionally and financially. When a woman uses love as a business deal, this is where many men get trapped because they confuse affection with investment. They believe, if I give her more, she'll love me more. But brother, if love feels like a negotiation, it isn't love at all. How transactional love works. In a healthy relationship, love flows freely. You give, she gives, without keeping score. But a woman who treats love like a transaction does something different. She attaches conditions to her affection. Her care depends on what you provide. Her loyalty depends on what you earn. Her respect depends on how much you spend. She doesn't ask, "How was your day?" She asks, "What are you buying me next?" This is not partnership. This is emotional business. Signs. She uses love as a transaction. 1. She equates gifts with love. If you don't spend on her, she accuses you of not caring enough. Her measure of affection isn't your presence, your effort, or your emotional support. It's your credit card limit. 2. She negotiates affection. She withholds intimacy until you fulfill her demands. "We'll have a good weekend after you buy me that bag." This is manipulation disguised as romance. 3. She views the relationship as an upgrade. She isn't looking for you. She's looking for the highest bidder. If someone offers her a better lifestyle, she has no hesitation leaving. The hidden danger. Transactional love creates a power imbalance. You become the provider, and she becomes the receiver. Over time, you start competing with yourself, buying bigger gifts, spending more money, and working harder, just to maintain her interest. But here's the truth. You cannot buy genuine love. The moment your wallet closes, her affection fades. The Stoic philosophy on value. Epictetus said, "If you wish to be loved, love yourself first." A Stoic man knows his worth is not defined by his bank balance or the gifts he provides. He seeks a woman who values character over currency, principles over possessions, and connection over contracts. Because when love is conditional, it's not love at all. It's an agreement with an expiration date. How to protect yourself. Stop using money as a substitute for emotional connection. Test her values early. See how she treats you. When you're not offering material benefits, choose a woman who invests time, energy, and loyalty, not just demands financial support. Real love isn't transactional. It's reciprocal. Signs 5. Destroys your peace and happiness. Brother, let me ask you something. What's the point of dating someone beautiful, charming, and fun if every single day your mind feels heavy and your soul feels drained? What's the point of having someone next to you if being with them feels lonelier than being alone? Because here's the truth most men avoid facing. A woman who destroys your peace is slowly destroying you. You see, peace isn't just silence. Peace is mental stability. Peace is emotional balance. Peace is waking up in the morning without feeling anxious, judged, or manipulated. But when you're with the wrong woman, peace becomes a luxury, something you beg for, instead of something you naturally have. How she destroys your peace. A woman who lacks self-awareness and emotional maturity doesn't even need to raise her voice to break you down. She does it subtly. through her patterns, her energy, and her decisions. Here's what it looks like. 1. Constant criticism. No matter what you do, it's never enough. Your effort, your time, your sacrifices, none of it satisfies her. She finds flaws where none exist and plants seeds of self-doubt in your mind. 2. Creating chaos over calm. She thrives on drama. Every small disagreement turns into a massive argument. She starts fights, not because of the issue itself, but because she needs the emotional intensity. 3. Weaponizing your emotions. She knows your insecurities. She knows what hurts you. And when things don't go her way, she uses your vulnerabilities against you. 4. Competing, not connecting. Instead of being your teammate, she acts like your opponent. If you succeed, she feels threatened. If you fail, she quietly celebrates. 5. Controlling through guilt. She constantly makes you feel like you're not doing enough. She manipulates you into believing that her happiness is your responsibility, the emotional price you pay. The worst part is this: you don't notice the damage immediately. At first you tell yourself, it's just a phase. You make excuses for her behavior, convincing yourself that love requires sacrifice. But slowly, you stop recognizing yourself. You become more anxious. You doubt your worth. You lose motivation, energy, and passion. And one day, you wake up and realize you've spent months, maybe years, fighting battles inside a relationship that was supposed to bring you peace. Brother, let me remind you of something powerful. A relationship is supposed to add to your life, not drain it. The Stoic way to protect your peace. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." A Stoic man never allows his inner stability to be dependent on someone else's chaos. If she threatens your mental clarity, your purpose, or your happiness, then she's not a partner. She's an obstacle. And the strongest move you can make is not to argue louder or fight harder. It's to walk away calmly. Because walking away isn't weakness, it's self-respect. Signs: she's destroying your happiness. You feel mentally exhausted after every conversation. You second-guess yourself constantly. You've stopped pursuing your passions and goals. You're more focused on avoiding fights than actually enjoying the relationship. You feel less like yourself and more like someone who's just trying to keep the peace. Brother, these are red flags you can't ignore, because the longer you stay, the more you compromise your identity, your energy, and your sense of self. The hardest truth most men ignore. Here's something nobody tells you. It's better to be single and peaceful than committed and miserable. Being single gives you freedom, clarity, and the space to rebuild yourself. But staying with someone who constantly drains you, keeps you trapped in a cycle of confusion and suffering. You deserve a woman who adds value to your life, not someone who takes it away. And once you understand this, you'll stop begging for peace from people who were never designed to give it to you. Conclusion. So let me leave you with this. You don't need a perfect woman. You don't need someone with a flawless body, a glamorous lifestyle, or endless social validation. You need one thing only: peace of mind. And here's the truth. If being with her feels like losing yourself, if every day feels like you're fighting battles that shouldn't even exist, then she's not the one. A Stoic man values his purpose, his clarity, and his inner strength above everything else. Because when you master your emotions, you master your life. So choose wisely, brother. Protect your energy, guard your peace, and never settle for someone who drains the very happiness you've spent years building. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.